I remember I used to play for my local team. So my brother used to play for a team called Deans in Salford, and I remember that made me want to play. I went down. It was a boys' team, and they were a year older than me, so they basically wouldn't let me play unless I was a goalie. So I went down. I'd already kicked about in the garden with my brother. Like he'd forced me to go and goal, shoot on me. So I went down there, and then they said, if you be a goalie, you can play. So I did, and I think I was about 6, and then it stuck from then on. I just wanted to go and play football. Obviously, I see my brother playing football. I love watching football. Big United fan, my whole family. So I just wanted to be a part of it. I enjoyed it, and then they went down and said be a goalie, and I fell in love with it. When you're that young, it's just about enjoyment. So yeah, okay, you might be the only girl in the team, but you're still, everyone's on that same level of they just love football, they want to win the game, have fun, enjoy themselves. So I think that first experience for me was great. I made loads of friends. I used to love it. They didn't treat me any differently. In fact, I think I was captain the second season. So like they welcomed me with open arms, didn't look at me as anything other than a teammate. And I just really enjoyed those years. I had 2 great coaches who really threw me into it. And I think maybe you come up against a team and it might be the opponent's going, oh, they've got a girl in net, blah, blah, blah. But once you start playing and you can see that I can play football, obviously, then it's just the same. So I would really recommend that girls play with boys. I'd only played 1 season with the boys, and I went to trials and got offered a place, but I was too scared, and I didn't feel ready to go, and like it felt like this massive thing to go sign for United and like not just playing on the park for fun with the local boys. So I didn't sign for them that first year. I think I left them without a goalie in the academy for that whole year. But you're only kids, so it doesn't matter. And then the next year they invited me back, and then I decided I was ready that year. So I then got to experience having a goalkeeper coach. That was the first time I had a goalkeeper coach when I first moved to Centre of Excellence. So that was when I started to actually learn about being a goalkeeper and not just throw myself around and see what happens. When I was 16 at United, I even started to go and train with boys again because I felt I wasn't really getting pushed enough at that last sort of age group in the development while I was at United. And I went and trained with Ian Wilcock. He was at Bury then, and he was the Bury first team coach, and he used to do all the academy boys. So I used to go and train with all the academy goalies out in Bury, and then when you're 16 with all these other lads, it's a bit intimidating. But I loved it, and I loved the way that Wilco coached, and I think then it's so physical and like they're a bit more strict on the lads as they used to be with us, and I found that as a really eye-opening experience, and that's something that really made me better. Obviously, when I was growing up, they were like glory years of United. Used to win trophies, watched them win the double, and Van der Sar was the keeper, so he was like my hero. He's just something, just the way, how big he was, and like so calm and composed, and he just looks unbeatable at times, and I just admired him. I think because I was so young, you're still just figuring out what being a goalkeeper is at that age. I mean, when United won the double, I would have been like 8, so just then starting to play for United myself, I was just watching him in awe and just watching United win trophies and thinking like, wow, like that just looks amazing. That's something that I'd love to do, and trying to just make the most of every opportunity I got. One of my family members bought me a United shirt as a birthday present, and it was I remember exactly what it was. It was a blue goalie shirt, and it had like a white line that went across here, like the AIG one, and it had Van der Sar on the back, and it was like my most prized possession. I think I used to sleep in it at night, wear it all day, didn't take it off for like 2 weeks without washing it. Because I always had hand-me-down football shirts from my brother and sister, and that was like my first one that was mine, and it had Van der Sar on the back. I reckon I've still got it somewhere, be at my mum and dad's house, because I just loved it that much. Women's football wasn't televised, so it was really hard to see goalkeepers, but I definitely had a few. I remember seeing Hope Solo in a World Cup once and thinking, wow, like she's the best, like this is what women's football could, like the level that it could go to, goalkeeping, blah, blah, blah. And then I also saw a bit of Karen Barsley and Siobhan Chamberlain and Rach Brown-Finnis, actually, quite a few English goalkeepers that I've looked up to. I remember the first ever women's football game I actually went and watched was in the Olympics, and they had the GB team. Actually seeing women's football in front of my eyes and actually seeing that, okay, like I'm a goalkeeper, I could do this as a job. was something that I really looked up to. And then as it sort of progressed and I started coming through the pathway and it got a bit more visible, it was Siobhan Chamberlain, Karen Bardsley, really, that I saw. Obviously they were playing for England, and Carly Telford as well is a great one, and they were playing in the WSL, and just actually then being lucky enough to sort of meet these people as it goes further down the line is something that I'm really grateful for. We've been lucky enough to work really closely with Siobhan Chamberlain at Liverpool and United, and then had the opportunity to train with Carly Telford before on a camp, and then obviously I worked really closely with Mary Earps for a while at United, so a lot of like really experienced goalkeepers who were leading the way for people my age and younger. So I think once I get into the environment, a bit nervous to train with them, hoping that I could keep up kind of thing, but all the people I've mentioned are absolutely lovely people and really understood that, like, the weight of the shirt, and that they're passing it on to the next generation, and been really good at developing the next pathway for English goalkeepers coming through. And I think that's now why you see so many good standard female goalkeepers, because they've had those people who've actually understood how important it is to build on the next generation and make them better and better as they keep coming. I've looked at a lot of goalkeepers that I've worked with and tried to take little things from them. Just from Mary, it's that, like, she can get her head in a place where she's like hyper focused on the game, and she's really focused on her role and what she's going to do to help the team. Then just giving everything that she could to make what she wanted to happen, and really dedicating herself to it. And I think at United I saw that behind the scenes of how hard she was working, and she's very much a perfectionist and wants details to be right, especially in training. So each training week for Mary really prepared her for the game, and she made sure that she got what she needed in training, even if it was having to do more at the end of training to make sure that she was in the place for the game. I think that's something that I will do now and that I'll keep doing for the rest of my career. We've got a great little union going on here. Courtney's fantastic. We get on really well. She's a lovely person to be around, very energetic, life of the party, very loud, as people like to tell her. With Courts, it's just how consistent she is throughout the training week. Like, we train to a high standard out on the pitch, and being able to do that and work together whilst competing for a shirt at the end of the day, but also bringing that enjoyment and just keeping it really light-hearted and fun. But I think Courtney's fantastic, one of the best keepers I've worked with. And every day, even if she's having a bad day, like mentally or emotionally, like she will always train to a really, really high standard. So that keeps me training to a high standard. And then obviously we've got Ian, who is like a big softie, who looks after us all the time, but also he's really good at getting the best out of us within the session and making sure that, like, he can understand what we need each day, and like how we can not only get better each day but actually enjoy ourselves. And I think we have a really enjoyable time out on the pitch. We keep it light, but also we work really hard. At the end of the day, like, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. You're not going to enjoy it every day, because everyone has ups and downs throughout the week and the season. But I think we have a really good little environment where we trust each other enough to be honest if you're having a bad day, or to just say, look, I'm struggling with this today, and then we can pick each other up and just make sure that we're all going along smoothly. So yeah, I really enjoy working with both of them. I think for me, the most important thing is to try and enjoy every single time that you've got your gloves on and you're playing football, because I think if you lose that, and I've been in situations where I've lost that a bit for a few weeks, a few months or whatever, when you're struggling, I think that's when your performances drop. If you're not enjoying your football, you're also not going to play well. So I think it's so important to just try and get to a place, an environment, be around people, or just bring it from yourself to just go out and just say, I'm just going to enjoy this session, I'm just going to have fun. Because at the end of the day, you're a goalie because you like being a goalie, so you need to keep that. And when I go out and I'm enjoying my football, then I'm also playing well, and then obviously you enjoy it even more then, and success comes with it. So I just say go, like, attack every session like it's going to be fun and it's going to be the best session you've ever had.